Authorities in New Zealand have urged residents near the coast in certain parts of the North Island to stay at higher ground after three large earthquakes in the Pacific triggered tsunami warnings. Magnitude 8.1 and 7.4 quakes struck near the Kermadec Islands, while a 7.2 magnitude quake hit east of New Zealand. People near the coast have been evacuated from certain low-lying areas and are currently gathered on higher ground. Authorities are telling residents not to return home and that tsunami warnings override current COVID-19 restrictions.
This has been an extraordinary morning for many New Zealanders up and down the country. From 2:30 this morning, essentially, some people have been up worried about their homes, their families. Those that have had to pick up their homes, pivot and evacuate, and have done so exceptionally well. The messaging was, when it is long or strong, get gone. This morning, whether that was at 2:30 or whether that was later on throughout the course of the morning, we saw New Zealanders literally adhere to that advice. They felt the long or strong earthquakes, and they knew to grab their bag and head into the highlands.
The severity of currents and surges will vary over the period this morning that the warning is in effect for. We are advising people to stay out of the water, as I say, including the sea, rivers and estuaries, so that includes not going out in boats. We ask that people do not go sightseeing. This is important. The first wave may not be the largest. Tsunami activity will continue for several hours and the threat must be regarded as real until this warning is cancelled. Evacuation advice overrides the current COVID-19 alert level requirements. Listen to local civil defence authorities and follow any instructions regarding evacuation of your area. If you are told to evacuate, do not stay at home. Stay 2 metres away from other people if you are able to safely do so while you evacuate. Do not return until an official all-clear message is given by Civil Defence.
So was New Zealand authorities holding a media conference there just in the last hour or so with the latest tsunami warning update. Cheryl Mai is the mayor of Whangarei, north of Auckland. So it's in one of the zones where authorities are warning there could be coastal inundation, and she joins us now. Cheryl, g'day. So first of all, exactly where are you? Have you gone to higher ground yourself?
Fortunately, I live in a place where I'm in a safe zone. I'm away from any evacuation zone. I was at home doing my work from home today, so I've stayed home, and that's the message that we're giving to all of our people to ensure that people move to high ground and stay safe.
Yeah. So did you feel the quakes this morning? They were huge quakes, were they? Magnitude 8 and 7, and any reports of damage from the quakes?
Personally, I did not feel either of the quakes, and I haven't heard of any damage to property. The main threat now is to our coastal zones with the tsunami waves that are coming. Some of them are already, you can see the surges coming through into our coastlines and our rivers, and there's unusual water movement. So we're ensuring that all people who are in those threat zones are well clear of those.
Yeah, so what have been, I don't know if you can see from your home or if you've seen any official word on this, on the way you mentioned waves there, the size of some waves that have been hitting the coast?
The advice is that the waves could be between 1 and 3 metres, but of course those it does vary, and the impact of those will be different depending on the direction of the wave, and also the patterns that they have as they hit the coastline will move as well. So we're just really uncertain of what the impact will be at this stage. Social media is fabulous. We're getting lots of people putting posts up on Facebook with videos of the coastline and the movement of the water. But up until now, it's been relatively calm, and we're just waiting for the impact to hit.
Yeah, the Kermadec Islands, I think, are about 1,000 k's away from the New Zealand coast. Are you getting to the stage now where you feel that if there was any impact from this earthquake, that it would have hit by now, or there is still a cause for concern over the coming hours?
The This is consistent with the way that we would deal with a quake of this magnitude at the Kermadex. We call this a close distant earthquake event, and we prepare for this because we know that if there's a strong earthquake up in the Kermadec Trench, then our coastline is vulnerable in a very short space of time. So we're calling this a fast event, even though it's hours since the actual quake. But it has given us time to activate our tsunami sirens and encourage our community to follow all the things that we plan for to get to high ground and just wait until we're given the all clear to be able to go home again.
Yeah, you Kiwis live with kind of tremors basically every day there. Tell us about the preparation that you go through, Cheryl Mai, for the preparing the community to deal with an event like this. And has this, hopefully nothing's going to significant will happen from this, has this turned out to be a really good drill? Yes,
our civil defence teams work with coastal communities in particular to practice the response to an event such as this. So this is textbook close earthquake tsunami drill, and it's proving to be a real event this time. And it's really encouraging to see all the plans that we've prepared for in place. So this is not out of the ordinary. We are prepared for it, but the things that we can't plan for, of course, is what damage, if any, will occur to either property or our infrastructure along the coastline, and the damage it will do to maybe people's boats and what have you. So that's what we can't really prepare for.
Mm. And you say your home is in a good position, not in an evacuation zone in the Whangarei area there. Are you aware of many people in Whangarei who actually did leave town and go to high ground?
Yes, our city centre is also in an evacuation zone, so everybody was at work and then got into their vehicles to leave or walked up to safe zones. Again, many businesses, our own council, for example, staff have practiced where to go to evacuate up to high ground. So these are all things that we are aware of, but the majority of our population lives inland, but we've got these beautiful coastal areas and small knit coastal communities who live in paradise, of course, on the coast, but they also know what to do to go to high ground.
And so, for example, the council workers, the council depot there in Whangarei, just so we get an idea here in Australia, when there is a warning like this and they have to go to higher ground, is the evacuation spot just a kilometre away or even less, or do they have to go quite a distance to get to that evacuation point?
It's about 400 metres, so it's within walking distance, so high ground. We're fortunate in the valley with rivers that feed into that. That gives us the benefit of being able to quite quickly get to a point of safety.
Yeah. And Cheryl, when was the last time you felt a tremor there?
Oh, Whangarei is not actually a place that is in high earthquake zone.
Okay.
So we're relatively free from quakes normally. So it's unusual to feel a quake. Sometimes we do feel the quakes when they're happening down in that really the zone where the two tectonic plates rub up against each other occasionally, and those are the communities that really feel the quakes more so than we do in Northland. But of course our coastline is vulnerable in this situation.
Yeah. Okay, Cheryl Mai, thanks so much for talking to us. And yeah, fingers crossed that over the next several hours there won't be any coastal inundation from this event.
Thank you.